on, you better get it on. You should always have a chip while you on the throne. Nobody cares, you better stay alive. But for now, we up to bat, we yelling hit or die. Hit or die, 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 hit or die. That's two for me, one for the team, and we won't stop till we get the ring. Hit or die, 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 hit or die. That's two for me, one for the team, and we won't stop till we get the ring.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the HIT.OR.DIE podcast with your hosts Jake Saldati and Chad Rothford.
What's up, everybody?
What's up?
Chad, how are you doing, bud?
I'm good, man. Just
How was your memorial?
tired.
You tired?
Yeah.
Dad life, work life, school life.
I didn't even go to work today because I had to call in, which I'm trying not to do since I'm trying to get my hours so I can get my baby leave. A lot of people out there probably don't understand you have to get a certain amount of hours to get your...
It depends on where you
Paid
work.
leave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
I'm one of those people that don't understand.
You're a billionaire that owns your own company.
The fuck?
So.
Not even close, bro. Surviving by the thread of my pants here. This is... Anybody that runs a business knows
I
that.
was wondering why you were wearing a G-string today.
That's why it's not on YouTube today. Happy Memorial Day weekend to everybody. Roth.
Yeah, it was good, man. My parents came in town. CJ got a new pair of golf clubs because we're starting up the first tee again this June. So he was just out of that 3 to 5 set. You know, he's actually in a 9 to 12 set because he's tall. But and then little Viv got his old clubs, and we took her out there too, and she likes it. So yeah, it was a good weekend.
Yeah,
Good,
all right.
fun weekend. Yeah, celebrated. Memorial Day is always difficult because my cousin is a Green Beret, and his platoon got blown up on Memorial Day.
It's crazy.
I think
Jeez
six of his platoon members died in the accident. He was actually not on the mission because he had his jaw wired shut from a bar fight like a couple weeks prior to the mission, and so it's a little personal for him because he was their squad leader, and you know, as a squad leader, you take like he thinks he should have been there. So it's like Memorial Day is just a little difficult. Like I know people, say have a good 3-day weekend or.
Yeah, no, it's more than just a day off or an extra day. That's kind of why I didn't want to, like, I was going to, put the podcast out from last week. I'm just like, it's not the right time. That's not the day to do that. Just out of respect. And, my grandfather also served, and it's cool. My mom found his discharge certificate from the Navy in, I think it was 1940 something. Mid to late 40s. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool to have a copy of that. So,
Navy, was he in Top Gun?
He wasn't actually. He was on a carrier, and I think he was. I want to say he was just out of before Pearl Harbor. I want to say. I could be wrong.
Yeah,
but still, it's an important day.
Yeah,
and so speaking of Top Gun, before we get there. Go to YouTube, hit subscribe, go follow the podcast on Twitter at HIT.OR.DIE podcast, on Instagram at HIT.OR.DIE. Again, if you are listening on iTunes or Spotify, subscribe. Please share. It's how we continue to spread this. Again, like last week, just thanks to the audience, thanks to everybody that it's been charting really well, and Chad and I appreciate it a lot. But okay, yes, Top Gun.
If you haven't seen it,
before we dive in,
go ahead and fast forward through this part. But it is
Well, let's you know what? Go see it. Should we wait a week before we get into
No, it's been out a week. It's been out since
Okay. If you haven't seen
last Tuesday or something.
If you haven't seen Top Gun, just
go see it in theaters.
Go see it in theaters. Are you going to get into it? Do you really want to?
I do.
Okay.
I loved that movie.
I did too. I really did.
Freaking awesome. It is by far going to be the best movie of 2022.
It broke the record for opening weekend or Memorial Weekend or something like that. 150 million.
I didn't know what to think, and then like everybody was like, "Oh, it was 10 out of 10. It was, like sequels normally aren't like as good or better than the original. And this was just as good. I can't say better. I would say equal. It's an equal sequel. We'll go with that because I did like how they incorporated the first movie into this one with the flashbacks and all that kind of stuff. We won't get into full detail, but like and then I was watching the first one leading up to it, which it's off of Netflix now. It was off yesterday. Was the last day you could watch Top Gun, the first one on Netflix. And I'm watching that movie after I watched the second one, and I'm like, dude, I thought those flight scenes and stuff were realistic, like in the first one. And then you watch the second one and you realize that they're legit in an F-18 or whatever they're flying with the cameras facing them. Like their movements are legit, like almost scared, like, flying with the way they jerk their bodies and stuff. And I think the way they captured that, and I know that was one of Tom Cruise's things that he wanted. Yeah. If he came back to do a sequel, he wanted not to have the cinematography or what is it? That's I don't know.
Like CGI.
Yeah, the CGI. He wanted it to be as realistic as possible. And I think that they pulled it off because
absolutely.
It was real.
But also think about that, right? You go back to the first one and think about how cutting edge
34 years ago
that was in the 80s. That was 86.
86, I was 1.
So it was that's part of what makes that movie really a great movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really did. Let's give the people, because I guarantee you'll go back and see it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, but
I do want to say the love interest caught me off guard until I read about how they made the movie and where it came from, and then it totally makes sense.
Yes, it does,
and it totally makes it better.
I didn't realize it until like halfway through. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember those parts in the original. Yeah. So I would suggest everybody go see it. It's a fantastic movie. Honestly, what is it rated? PG-13?
PG-13.
I mean, there's a very little swearing in it.
Very little swearing. There's no sex scene like the first one.
Yeah, nobody's trying to see Tom Cruise at 50-something, 60-something.
I don't know, Jennifer Connelly.
Okay, well, that's a whole different topic.
Smoke.
She did look.
I mean, she definitely goes into the Jennifer Aniston category now.
Okay, wait a second.
Yes, dude,
bro.
The category.
Okay, the category.
Yeah.
Okay, the category.
I didn't say she is Jennifer Aniston.
No,
but she's Jennifer Connelly.
She is Jennifer Connelly. I will. Category is fair.
Yeah, but I will say that character is from the first movie.
Yes.
They do name drop her name in the first one twice.
I think it's 3 times.
Well, I know
2 or 3 times.
I know the first bald-headed lieutenant name drops it. Or no, he says something about the admiral's daughter, and then Goose name drops it, and then Goose's wife name drops it as well at the bar scene. So when I saw that, and then I figured it out, it totally made sense, and it made because I was kind of at first like, where does she play into this? Because I didn't realize
some random chick.
Yeah, that's what I thought originally
from the past.
From his past after the first one.
Yeah.
You know what? So it didn't make sense to me. But then when I went back and, read about how the movie was made and stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, so that makes total sense, and it's just way better. Way better movie. The ending's fantastic. It ended the way it should have.
Yeah. I was very okay with it being a Hollywood movie.
Yes.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
It wasn't meant to be like realistic in the sense that like there's probably no way some of that shit actually happens, right? It was very Hollywood production, but I appreciated that, and I'm glad they took the route they took. It's funny, I went back to like Toy Story 4, and if you haven't seen that,
was terrible.
Kick rocks. I'm going to just tell you, like, the way they split up at the end of that was like, everybody I've talked to that's seen that has kids that went was so disappointed to see the group split up. This is, we'll just say not that. It's a much better ending. I would suggest going and seeing it. In the theaters, it's legit.
In theaters, for sure. Yeah, I wanted to take CJ yesterday. My wife talked me out of it.
Well, that was what I was getting at. Like, I think it's fairly.
Okay. I mean, he's 6.
That's maybe a little young.
I mean, I've thrown some F-bombs around the house and some, I mean, I don't think there was that much cussing where it would affect him. But he loves the Army stuff. He loves the airplanes. Like, he loves that part of it. That I think that
when I was there was young kids there. Like, there was kids around his age. Yeah. There was a few families there. It wasn't that type of movie. I wouldn't have a problem.
But I think he wouldn't remember that other stuff.
Probably not. There's not.
I honestly can't even remember the curse words.
I remember 2. Listen, it's a good movie. I would definitely.
It's a good family movie.
Yeah. There, like I said, there were some families there, so go see it. I've been waiting for this.
If you guys want to take me, I'll go with you. Dude, I want to go so bad. I've been trying to go again so bad. She just.
Oh my god!
It's hard with a newborn. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. In baseball things, all things baseball.
We have to talk baseball.
We do. I know. You haven't been watching much. You said.
No, dude. I've been just like busy, man.
Okay, it's not the get off.
No, it's not a
grumpy old man. Like it sucks.
I mean, work. There's no baseball, but I've been recruiting for Fresno City. So I've been out to games and trying to get guys into the program. Even though we don't know what's going to happen with the coaching situation.
Still not open yet. As of today.
Still not open as of today.
June 1st. It is not opened.
Not opened. So until then, I'm still going to try to continue to get the best players for the program.
Well, that's what's best for the program.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. So, with that going on, I'm down to my last couple classes of school. It's just this class has been my hardest class too. So, and then a new baby and 3 kids, and dude, I ain't got time for that. TV.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're here. I just assumed I was going to keep going, or via the phone or whatever.
It's been good since it hasn't been good, but the plus side is I don't have baseball, so I'm taking an hour out of my day or 2 hours out of my day to do the podcast rather than be at the field for 3 to 4 hours. So the wife is okay with that.
So in baseball news, we had section championships over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, here in the Central California area. Division I champ Stockdale. 2 was Clovis East. Division 3 went to Bakersfield over Hanford. Madera South won Division 4 over Lemoore. Kennedy Division 5. And Mendota captured D6. And they had the first round of state playoffs yesterday. And only 2 teams will be moving on. That is Central in Division 3, which is kind of weird to say.
That's not.
With all due respect to the team program coach, that's just weird to see a Division I team in our area representing D3 in the state tournament. But they got to pick up a W. You play where you can play, man. Yeah. This is where they put you. You do what you got to do. And then Kennedy also moving on in Division 5, I believe. So congrats to the section winners and then the guys that are still playing in state. For the most part, man, baseball is over here. It's summertime, getting into travel ball. I've seen some stuff on the old Twitter space there, and you've got some summer tournaments. I think the Buchanan Elite, right? They're still doing that around here. Is that coming up? No? Don't know?
I have no idea.
That's a thing. It was a thing.
It was a thing.
It's a great, actually, it's always a good turnout. Really good teams coming down from that. And then you had a coaching position open up here in our area as well. It's a big D1 school in Clovis High School. I don't know who's...
It's just sad to see.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's gonna be sad not to see a Patrick.
I think over time it was eventually bound to happen. Maybe not in the fashion that this came about or whatever.
In like 20 more years.
Again, as far as the situation goes, I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't really care to talk about that part of it.
No.
I've seen people out there just saying stuff, and that's fine. I'll leave it to them to do. But it is a job open. And I saw, a good friend of ours that we've done stuff with, Nick Papagni, put some names out there as front runners. Do you have any opinion on that? I know we don't typically get into that stuff because a lot of the people in this area are we consider friends. Even with the Fresno City stuff and knowing, some of the people that I know that want to apply, like being neutral or we're friends. Like I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody, but there were names dropped. Do you have an opinion either way on any of those names?
I think the 2 names...
And not personal, I'm just as far as the job's concerned.
I just think the 2 names that stand out the most is JD and Pat.
Pat Ware and JD Sales. I agree with you.
I mean, with the situation that happened with JD, with the leaving Memorial and the Clovis West and how it fell through, I mean, obviously he was planning on being at a Clovis school. I know he wanted it to be his alma mater in Clovis West, but I don't know. Maybe, I mean, he'd be a good fit at Clovis. I mean, it's just
So from people that I've talked to, just a few in that area.
him and Storm are really good friends, best friends, I think.
Well, it's a few people have mentioned his name they would love to have there. So, and their younger parents in the program. Pat's obviously long tenured coach around here, been around high school baseball, obviously Division I at Fresno State.
Washington State.
Yeah. And then is there anybody that wasn't mentioned? Like dude, to me, and I know it won't happen. You said it won't happen. But I always like Jason.
You're going to do that?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
You're going to do that?
I'm going to put him out there.
You're going to throw him out there?
We're boys. He won't do it.
No.
I don't think he would leave. He does a really good job. I just would love to see that.
Yes. I would love to see that, but he wouldn't get backed up at Clovis High the way he gets backed up at Fresno High.
You don't think so?
No, not.
You bring
if he went to Bullard, if he went to Madera, if he went to anywhere else but Fresno High, he does not get backed up and allowed to coach the way he coaches. He's an old school grind, no BS coach that doesn't put up with shit. And I'm talking about doesn't put up crap with kids that that take Ubers to practice, that have to walk to practice, that don't drive their Mercedes or Lexus to practice or have it entitlement. He deals with kids like that and still doesn't put up with their shit or allow them to get away with things. You think that would be okay at Clovis High?
I don't know.
No shot. You can't say you don't know.
Well, that was my hesitation.
There's no shot.
My hesitation and why I didn't finish was I don't know if his mentality. I don't know. He wins.
He wins,
and he knows how to. He just knows how to get it done, man. He does a great job with the. We've said it since the day we started this thing. Like, he's an extremely underrated coach. And again,
at the top,
throw our friendship to the side. On top, like, you know what I mean?
He's not even my friend. Just kidding.
I'm sure you'd love to hear that.
I'm just kidding.
I was just thinking of other names, and I was like, man, I would love to see Pappy, even at the Fresno City thing. Like,
yeah, I told him that too. I told him I think he'd be great to go for the Fresno City job.
But just the pride of Fresno High, man,
it's his.
It is.
It's his
baby, man. Like
his dad.
That's his home.
His dad's still there every day by 10 a.m.
And listen, that's so, like, where do you find that? How does that live on? How many schools have that with their head coach? Not that they don't love the schools they're at, but live and die by their schools, man. Like,
yeah.
He puts in a lot of work. Not that all coaches don't. I'm just saying, like, would you agree? Like,
I've seen his players and how
some of the stories and
where they come from and how difficult it is to get them eligible and practice. And I mean, that's what, we had at Madera even was that kind of, student athlete, which I would much rather coach because I feel like they take pride in the work ethic rather than at a Clovis school. I think a lot of those kids are grown up a little bit entitled. Not all, but some.
And listen, it's not just it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You'll find that in Madera.
I've only coached.
Right, I got you.
So that's where I'm coming
I'm saying
from.
you'll find that kid. You'll find that kid.
You'll find the kid at Madera.
Sure, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We've had some.
But I'm saying for the most part.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So it's just
because I can tell you my first thought of going to Clovis West 10 years ago was like, it's cool. It's Clovis West. I'm excited to get back in the track, and the night games are always great. And I really didn't even know anything about Clovis West when I went there, and I just assumed, like, when I played, it was like, well, these kids are brats. They're spoiled. They're spoon fed. Mom and dad's gonna take care of everything, bring their gear to practice. And I couldn't have been further from the truth. Like, I was completely wrong on my opinion of what those kids were like. There were a couple, maybe, but for the most part, I was like, oh, shit, they're not that. It's not this.
And it's also year to year. It's different times, and because the team after.
Some of that existed, yes.
The team after that.
Some of that existed, absolutely.
Was totally different.
Sure.
And that comes with the leadership.
100%.
So, I mean, it all,
I just don't want to throw, the all out there, like, you know what I mean?
I'm not trying to throw every Clovis school under the bus. I'm just trying to say that when you don't come from nice things and have nice things, I think you take pride in the nice things that you have. And maybe that's coming from experience. People think that I went to Bullard and I was probably a rich spoon-fed
Little
mother
spoiled rich
effer.
kid.
I grew up in a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house over by Fresno High.
So should you have been a Warrior?
I should have been a Warrior.
Really?
Yeah. I should have been a Warrior. And that's what it kind of makes me mad that I didn't go there. Because when I hear Jason talk about why he went to Hoover and stuff like that, like maybe I should have gone to Fresno High. Maybe I would have had a better experience or had more fun, been coached better, but I didn't. So, but I'm saying like some people know what it is to have nice things and some people take pride in what it is to have nice things. I guess the difference. I don't know.
And it's high school kids, you see it a lot. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
all the years we've been around coaching, like you see it from time to time. And I just thought like his mentality, you give him a lot more talent, and not to say that there's not talent there. Obviously,
He
because
gets every ounce of talent
because
though,
he
out of
still
those
wins
kids.
at Fresno High, and traditionally that's a good baseball school. I just think the way he runs his program, you give him a track school, I would love to see that combination.
Yeah. I mean, we said that about our staff at Madera, too. I don't know. I just think it comes back to the commitment stuff, too. Like, who are the ones that are wanting the commitment stuff? You see the Fresno High kids. You see the small Selma kids. Do you see you know what I mean?
Well, we'll have to just see. I'm assuming they'll open it up soon, make a move fairly quick. There's going to be some good interest on it. And there's probably names we're missing, guys I didn't think of. There's some younger coaches. I saw Coon's name from Liberty out there thrown in the mix. Who knows? There's definitely going to be some qualified guys.
I'll tell you what. It doesn't matter how qualified you are. There's somebody there that's going to make the decision, and will sometimes wonder why he made that decision. And other people will wonder, that was a good decision. So it honestly doesn't matter what the hell we think.
No, it doesn't.
Unless we're making the decision, but we're not.
No, I'd rather not make those decisions, to be honest with you.
I can make them easily.
Also over the weekend, you had the NCAA tournament brackets come out. It was a Monday morning. You had a lot of the conference tournaments end Sunday. And there were some teams. There's been a lot of noise, a lot of talk around the country that teams that got snubbed from the NC2A bracket this year, and one of them leading the headline was North Carolina State. Now, years past, the criteria to get in's kind of been, the strength of schedule, RPI, conference play, getting into the conference tournament and making a run's always been a big thing towards the end, that teams were on the bubble. Is that how it was when you were at Oral Roberts? Like,
I don't know. We were in because we were just good.
You guys just won the tournament and didn't have to put it in the hands of the committee.
True.
Or did you have a tournament?
Yeah, we did.
You guys had a conference tournament.
We won the conference and the conference tournament. Now, people are going to be like, oh, Oral Roberts, what conference did you play in? Yeah, we played in one of the worst conferences in the country. I've said it before on here, but we did our job. Our preseason schedule was stacked. I mean, I remember my senior year, we went to Texas, TCU, Baylor, 3 weekends in a row. I faced Jake Arrieta on Friday night. So, I mean, I faced Keuchel at Arkansas. You know what I mean? Like, I faced dudes. Like, so, and our preseason was good, but we did what we were supposed to do in a shitty conference. We won it. We won it outright. We left it in nobody's hands, and that's what you have to do if you're in a shitty conference like that. And Oral Roberts, I'm happy to see, is back in the tournament again after, I think, 2 to 3 years out of it. But it is what it is. You win your conference, you win the tournament. I don't know. I think the criteria I like better of how do you finish. You know what I mean?
Not how you started.
Like Ole Miss didn't even make the tournament, the SEC tournament. Didn't even make it. And they're in. Alabama isn't even in.
No, they're not.
And they were in the SEC championship game. And made a run. So I don't know. I feel like if you don't make your conference tournament, obviously you didn't win the conference in league, so you didn't make the conference tournament. And you shouldn't even be considered. No.
And there's some teams they don't have a choice, like Mountain West, right? The only team representing was Air Force.
Yeah.
And that's because they won the tournament. I see
because San Jose State was the
The conference,
the conference champion, but they didn't win the conference tournament. See, so that doesn't make sense to me, because what if San Jose State has a better record and everything than Air Force, but Air Force just won the tournament? Like, how do you dictate that? Like, then what's the point?
Because then
what's the point of having a conference champion?
That's your automatic bid.
No. I'm talking about San Jose State were the conference champions.
So why have a tournament? Because
so then the tournament, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why not just have the tournament? Don't have anybody be a champion
in the regular season.
Yeah, just seed it. All right, San Jose State's won.
Yeah.
All right, now we go play for the conference champion. You know, that's what I mean, because it's like what Stanford won.
It's almost as, why would you even celebrate winning the conference without?
Yeah, because San Jose State celebrated winning the conference, but they're not even in the tournament because Air Force won the conference tournament. And I bet San Jose State had a better record and everything, but they didn't win the tournament.
Well, and again, a strength of schedule looked like it played a role early season. I was looking at North Carolina State and Georgia Tech, and it was the one I was like, okay, NC State finished 36-21, 14-15 in the ACC, top 35, I think 33 RPI. They were top 35 in RPI. They lost to North Carolina in the ACC championship game Sunday. So they made a run through their tournament, being a mid-pack. I think they finished 5th in the Atlantic of the ACC. Georgia Tech was 34-22 overall, 16-16. RPI was 21. So that tells me that maybe they had a better preseason strength of schedule. But if you go look at the schedules, North Carolina swept Georgia Tech during conference play. North Carolina went 2 out of 3 over Clemson, and Clemson swept Georgia Tech. So what doesn't conference play have? Head-to-head doesn't matter then? And when you're that close, and what, Georgia Tech got a 2 seed? Is that what you said?
Yeah. They're a 2 seed in Tennessee Regional.
And NC State doesn't make it at all. And that's close to me. I mean, RPI is a little bit different, but you make a run to your championship. I mean, obviously there's some games that got away early. And that's part of putting it up in the committee's hands. And I think teams that won their conference with under 500 records kind of screwed this whole thing up for some teams like NC State, like Rutgers, who played in the Big Ten championship game.
But whoever wins that conference anyways goes. So whether it be Coppin State with the under 500 record, whoever wins that league still goes. So it still would take a spot.
Yeah, but if that team that in that conference, let's say there was a really good team, right, that didn't win their tournament but had a super high RPI, good conference schedule, non-conference schedule, and got in over a team like.
They won't do that for those small ones.
I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying.
That's like saying Oral Roberts going undefeated in league but losing the conference tournament. They're not going to probably get in the tournament because they're that small of a school and that bad of a conference. So whatever league Coppin State's in or Binghamton, I mean.
Well, the other argument for strength of schedule, for early strength of schedule, is Rutgers. Rutgers was another team brought up that was like, what? How did that happen?
They made a run.
Yeah, they did. They lost in the Big 12 or Big 10 championship game. To Michigan. 44-15 overall, 17-7 in conference play. Lost Big 10 to Michigan. They have 42 RPI. They didn't have a great strength of schedule early, and let's be honest, the Big 10 wasn't very good.
So I think the biggest question is, why is Ole Miss in?
You keep going back to that.
Well, they didn't even make the tournament. So you're talking about 3 other teams that made the tournament, made runs in the tournament.
Well, the other problem I have, and that's a great question. It's a good question. The other question to it, and the problem that I see, is representation. Right, out of 10 athletic directors on the D1 baseball committee, you have 0 representing the ACC.
Or the Big Ten.
And you have 0 representing the Big Ten. And I think they had 9 or 10 from the ACC and the SEC teams make it. Nearly, almost half the field. No representation. Will the SEC ever not have representation in this committee?
No.
What about the Big 12? Pac-12? Of course not.
I think the Pac-12 is the one that has to fight the most. I think people forget about us over here at the West Coast.
Lately, yeah, but I mean, that's fair. I would say the Big Ten's probably more so because they get a later start, right?
Well, and Big Ten baseball hasn't been that good.
It hasn't. You've had Michigan in I think 19 or 18 represented in the
Nebraska was
in the world. Yeah, they
Nebraska
were.
was in the Big 12, I think.
I'm saying Michigan was like the last team that made a run to the College World Series.
Well, they won it. And
they lost to Vanderbilt.
Oh, that's right.
I think it was 19. But I'm just saying that, yes, it hasn't been a very
good conference
for baseball. For a while. And, you're right about the West Coast. Definitely unrepresented there.
I mean, think about we can't even watch the West Coast games here. Like, how is that possible? How's the Pac-12 not like?
Well, you got the network. I don't know what they show.
I don't have the network though.
I don't have it either. I'm just saying it's available.
It's available on your TV,
Xfinity,
not
right?
Mine, not DirecTV. That's what I'm saying is why is the Pac-12 not a standard channel like the Mountain West channel? But even the Mountain West channel, you can't get the Mountain West baseball games on there on the TV.
No, you can stream them online.
Right.
The other thing with North Carolina State is even what happened to them last year with the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
To get booted out when you could have been the national champion. And to no fault of your own, you don't get to finish the run you were making in Omaha.
Yeah.
You see another team win it. And then you have a good year. Maybe not the year you wanted, but definitely worth a tournament bid. And then your back-to-back years. And I know they were pretty outspoken of the NCAA last year. And the decision.
But those weren't the people making the decision on this.
True. But you don't think it had any effect?
Why would it?
I just don't understand how, like, it's a Power 5 conference. How do you not have a representative of the ACC on this committee?
Yeah,
we know how this, like you said a minute ago, we know how it's going to play out for the Mountain West or the WAC. You got to win your tournament.
Yeah.
Do they really need representation?
No, nobody else. Who are you fighting for?
A non-conference winner in a not a very good conference?
That's what I'm saying. As good as Oral Roberts has been in that conference, they've never not made the tournament without winning their tournament.
Just interesting. I thought that was an interesting point to make. Like, last year, NC State had to go through it again, and then this year it's all over again.
Yeah.
Just, it was a fair argument for them to be in. And it doesn't make sense to me how, again, I go back to Georgia, and Georgia Tech had just a tougher strength of schedule earlier.
Which we looked at it, and it wasn't.
It wasn't that much tougher. I mean, but again, an argument nonetheless. I am excited for the tournament, though. It starts this weekend. You want to pick some winners? You want to pick the regional round first?
Sure. I'll pick the whole thing.
You want to pick the whole thing? All right. We'll go ahead and we'll run through it if you want to pick some winners, Chad. Do you want to do by regional? Or do you want to do game for game?
No, just regional.
Do regional. All right.
Tennessee.
Number 1, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Okay. Tennessee's going to move on over Alabama.
Who are you picking?
I'm going to take Tennessee. Georgia Southern, also a number 1 seed, hosting UNC Greensboro, Texas Tech, Notre Dame. That's actually a pretty good regional.
I'm going to take Tech.
I'm going to take Tech as well. You got the Texas regional. Texas Longhorns, Air Force, Dallas Baptist, La Tech.
I'm taking Texas. And the Latino torpedo, what do they call him? Ivan Mendez, the first baseman for the Texas.
Again, also going number 1, Texas in that one. East Carolina, Coppin State, Coastal Carolina, Virginia. Who you got?
Well, I was either going to be between ECU and Coastal, but I think I'm going to go with ECU.
Okay. I'm going to take Virginia. Texas A&M. This is another fun one.
Who's got the best record in this regional?
Oral Roberts.
I'll say 4 seed.
I'll say it. Texas A&M, Oral Roberts, Louisiana, TCU. I mean, how do you pick against your boy? Are you playing to win, or are you playing?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Of course, I want Oral Roberts to take this, but I don't know.
Well,
TCU won the Big 12,
yes.
not the tournament though.
No.
I don't think ORU has enough pitching for this regional. I'm gonna go TCU.
I'm rolling TCU as well. You got Louisville, Southeast Missouri State, Michigan, and Oregon.
I really haven't seen many of these guys play.
No.
I mean, I'm leaning towards Michigan or Louisville. I think Michigan's hot right now.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the hot hand.
Okay.
Going Michigan.
I'm going to take Louisville. Florida, Central Michigan, Liberty, and Oklahoma.
Look at that one seed, 39-22.
Any thoughts on the
Yeah, I'm going to go Oklahoma.
Oklahoma?
As much as I don't want to.
They're playing hot too. I'm going to take Florida. Virginia Tech, Wright State, Columbia, Gonzaga.
VTech.
Same. Switching on over, the Stanford Regional. Stanford, Binghamton, UC Santa Barbara, and Texas State.
Stanford.
Of course, Stanford. Here we go, Maryland.
Hey, you know who could be a sleeper in that, though? Texas State.
That's a 2 seed.
I mean, they bang.
Continuing on, Maryland.
You don't have anything to say about that?
I mean, they bang. You said it. I'll agree. I haven't seen them. Maryland, LIU, UConn, Wake Forest.
I'm just going to go Maryland.
I'm going to take Wake Forest. North Carolina, Hofstra, VCU, and Georgia.
North Carolina.
I'm with you on Carolina. Okie State, Missouri State, Grand Canyon, or Arkansas.
This might be the best regional.
It could be. You're right.
I mean, Oklahoma State, Grand Canyon got in. They're really good. Arkansas, I mean, you know, that's what's funny is people don't understand a lot of the best regionals, and I'm a little biased, come out in the Midwest. With Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Arkansas, all those regionals that those guys are in, they tend to be the best because a lot of those times they're in the same regional. But I'm going to go with Oklahoma State.
I knew you were going to go.
I have to.
I know. You have to. I'm taking Arkansas. Miami.
Canisius.
Ole Miss. Arizona.
I'm taking Miami.
I don't want to take Miami.
I wanted to go to Miami, though. That was the school I wanted to go to.
I thought you wanted to go to Bulldog, be a Bulldog, bro.
Well, yeah, I wanted to be a Bulldog until I knew I wasn't going to be a Bulldog.
So then it was Miami.
I want to go to Miami. Coach Scott went to Miami. I wanted to go to Miami when I was at City.
I'm going to take, God dang it. I'll go Miami as well. Southern Miss, what is that? Army, West Point, Kennesaw State, LSU. It's so small.
What's small?
The print. I can't
Don't
see,
you have
bro.
your glasses on?
I know, but it's still small, bro. Southern Miss.
Okay. I'm with you.
Auburn, Southeastern Louisiana, Florida State, UCLA. West Coast, bro. UCLA.
I'm going to take Florida State.
Florida State. And the last one, Oregon, New Mexico, San Diego. I'm sorry, Oregon State.
Yeah.
New Mexico State, San Diego, Vanderbilt.
Vandy.
I'm going to take Oregon State. So that's the regionals. So we'll come back next week. Let's do the regionals, super regionals. See how we did this one.
Yeah, but if our teams aren't in it, we're going to have
Then
to
we got to
redo
start
it.
over. Yeah. We'll pick the super regionals.
Okay.
It's fun, though. It's fun. College baseball is fun. You're going to see a lot of it on TV. I prefer to watch the college game lately. I know you watch a lot of college baseball. Or when you do watch it, that's what you're watching.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And also, I mean, like, I played, you know what I mean? Like, I bet if I played in the big leagues, I'd probably watch some of the big league games, but I'd critique it. Now I just critique it, and I've never been there. So, I mean, like, I like college baseball just because there's nothing like college baseball, college sports. There's nothing like college sports. Like being with your bros that you didn't know until you got there and, like, become so close.
I feel like that's leaving, though. I feel
like it's leaving a little bit too, depending on sport.
Well, I think what the
I don't think
NIL
baseball is.
I think what the NIL is becoming, and this is what you were from Jump Street, not a fan, okay, and I was on the fence and not totally against it.
And if you've watched Jump Street, I'm right.
Where it's headed, what it's like, the argument of, you saw Nick Saban call out Texas A&M football. They spent $30 million on buying players. And Jimbo Fisher came out and, as he should have probably, let him have it.
Yeah.
And I think he went after, Georgia Southern, where Deion's at.
Yeah, somewhere there. Jacksonville
State. There you go. And there was some pushback. And, I don't know if it's just, we've talked about it a little bit privately. You look at the payroll for the Oakland A's at $32 million, and I said this on Watch Your Lips. For Texas A&M to spend $30 million for college football players, and the A's, a professional baseball team, his payroll is 32. I don't think that was the intentions of this. I don't think that's where this was thought about going, and now we're entering an arena that we haven't seen, and I don't know how much further it's going to go before people start to say, "Whoa, we need to back this down." But whose fault is that? I mean, if you're a head coach, and there are no rules really in place for this, what are you doing? You're doing the same thing. You're paid to win.
I don't think it's coming straight from the head coach. I think they have their boosters and stuff taking care of the situation. Because think about it. The head coach has so much going on his plate, worried about practice plans and all that, like off-season stuff. He's not worried about how much money he's given certain players. Some might know what's going on. I don't know. I just hate the whole thing. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. I mean, we've even dealt with it on the podcast, trying to get somebody on.
Yeah.
We had to deal with a representation of somebody to try to get a hold of them, and then they were going to ask us to pay him $1,000 to have him on our podcast.
Yeah.
A college player.
Yeah, no. Never going to happen.
That hasn't done anything.
Well, it's just...
That's not what this podcast... I mean, we want to tell stories and stuff and, like, have a good time. Why would we pay somebody $1,000? I mean, we've had big leaguers. We've had Hall of Famers. We've had World Series winners. And that's what it's getting to, though. This younger generation with this representation trying to get every single buck out of everything they freaking do. That's what it's coming to.
Well, and that's again, I refer back to Watch Your Lips. Like, it was brought up on there. Like, we recruited you to come here to play football, but you're coming here because we paid you. Right? Because everybody else recruited you for the same thing. Yeah. We had more to give you, which is going to kill a lot of schools. I mean, there's no schools that compete with that.
Yeah. I don't know. You see it more in football than basketball, which is crazy because you think you'd see it a lot in baseball because there aren't any scholarships.
That's true. Yeah, it's interesting to see where this goes, where it continues to go. How far will it go? And at what point do they stop and rate? I brought up the point, like, I'm sorry, if you're getting $3.5 million to go play college football, you forfeit your scholarship at that point.
I agree.
That scholarship goes to a kid that actually needs the scholarship. Or you cap the amount that you can earn off NIL. Mm-hmm. It's $250,000, $500,000, million, whatever. The minute, though, that you're taking that money, I don't know, man. I like $3.5 million to go play college football. Like, I'm sorry.
And you don't even know if you're going to be good at college football. Like, how many guys have you seen go from high school to college and not pan out? High school to junior college and not pan out.
I think the ultimate, we'll see. We're going to start seeing what happens, how this, it's fresh, it's early in this whole thing. We're going to see how it rolls, how it plays out. All these kids want to get to the net. They want to play in the NFL, or they want to play in the NBA, or they want to play in Major League Baseball.
So now if I can make more money playing college football, why would I leave college early to go to the NFL?
Or if I can make enough money to say I don't have to go sacrifice my body, my life.
I mean, they're still going to
win. Exactly, because they're going to make it's a money-driven thing. It's still early. We'll have to see how it goes. Right there, they want to win too. Like if you put enough kids on one team, that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win.
No, I mean, if you have a lot of egos on one team, technically.
But we'll just have to, like I said, it's early. We haven't seen this before. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
What do you say to that kid that's making more money than you as a coach and you're trying to discipline him? And he's like, I make more money than you. I'll do whatever I want.
That's a great point.
You're paying me $3 million to sit the bench? No, you're going to play me. Right?
Yeah. No, and they were talking about the situation in Texas with
the quarterback.
The quarterback situation, and well, he's done with transferring. So now it's like it's on him to earn a job. You can't just leave if you're not happy.
Yeah.
You're stuck. So there is that to the kids that are transferring to other schools for this money. Like that's it. You're done now. We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. I just
think that takes all the fun out of college sports.
Explain. What do you mean? How so?
Everybody wants to be a professional athlete, right?
Yes.
There's not one kid out there that plays sports growing up that doesn't want to be professional at that sport, whichever one they're good at, right? I mean, even a track athlete could want to be in the Olympics or something. You know what I mean? At one point, you're like, I want to be at the top of everything. The fun part about trying to get there is trying to get there. Like, being able to say you worked as hard as you can to get as far as you got. Like, I have no regrets on how my career ended because I know I worked my butt off to get to where I got. And I ultimately think, and I know there's some people out there that would attest to this, that I was better than how far I got, that I could have maybe made it farther. But when it gets to the professional side of it, it becomes more of a business than actually talent and who likes you and whatnot. But to get to that point, because you don't know that yet, you're trying to work as hard as you can to get there. And I think that's what's fun about college sports. When I was at junior college, we were all working as hard as we could to win a CVC, to win a state, and to move on to either get drafted or a Division I scholarship. And then when we either got drafted or a Division I scholarship, we didn't think we were above anybody else because no matter what, our teammates put us in check. Then when we got to Division I, waking up at 5:30 in the morning to go to weights, if I'm making $3 million, do I have to wake up to go to weights? I think the whole mindset changes of you already think you're better than everybody else because you're making more money than everybody else when you shouldn't even be making money in the first place. You should be thankful for the scholarship you're given because in most cases, it's a free ride. Free clothes, free food, books, tuition, and money on the side, by the way, for football and basketball players that get all full ride scholarships. You get per diem monthly. So what are you bitching about? Making money. You are making money. You're getting money on the side from your school for your scholarship. And a lot of times it's around $2,000 a month. So besides all the free clothes, the free food, the room and board that you get, you have $2,000 a month that you can't survive on. You need to make more money because NC2A wants to put you in a video game and use your name and use your number. So you need to make money off of that. You can't just be grateful.
And in this instance, no. Because now they can make money.
Yeah. But I think it's just ruining.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. But it also is hard to, like, I'm gonna just straight up tell you, if somebody offered me $3.5 million to go play at their school, you would be a fool to not at least even consider it, as much as you don't like it.
I think there needs to be more stipulations in the contracts.
Absolutely. Just
I feel
all
like
of
if
it
we
needs
give
to
you
be
$3
more
million,
regulated.
if we give you $3 million, you have to.
Well, I'm sure it's not all up
prove that
front
it's
either.
earned.
Like, it's not just here and then that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that, obviously,
I feel like you got to earn that.
it's a little crazy.
That's crazy.
And it's it's just getting out of control, and like, I just would like to see where it ends up. We will see. It's early in all this stage. I don't even know how we got here. I'm sorry that I drug us here.
Yeah.
Forgive me. I want to run around the league a little bit. Major League Baseball.
Go ahead.
I got a couple questions for you. Okay? Now knowing that you haven't been watching that much, have you been watching it? Do you follow it all? I'll take this one for you. Take the reins on this.
No, ask me. See if I even know.
Most disappointing AL team thus far in the season.
Red Sox, I guess.
That's.
I don't know.
I had them up there. For me, it was Seattle.
Okay. Why Seattle?
21-28. Because they made some moves in the offseason where I thought.
Did they?
I mean, Robbie Ray.
One.
Letting some guys play. Suarez from Cincinnati. I didn't think the Astros were going to be the same Astros, and they obviously still a good ball club.
Well, when you have leadership and, the man at the helm, that's a leader, a good leader.
The way Seattle kind of finished last year, they got some good younger players. I just felt like maybe this was a year they kind of maybe figure some things out and make a better push. The Red Sox are probably...
I don't know. I don't even know.
The Red Sox are like 11 games back and fourth in the AL East.
Yeah, I'd say that's disappointing for the Red Sox.
They're ahead of Baltimore. Seattle's 21.
What's the percentage on that? 0. What percent?
0 point. I don't
Ahead
even
of Baltimore.
But Seattle's 21-28, 10.5 back, entering today and 4-6 in their last 10. So I guess, do you know who a surprise team would be? Who's the surprise in the American League?
In the American League, it's going to be the Angels.
You think so?
Yeah, they're winning.
Yeah, I think they're 5 back of Houston as of today. For me, it was the Twins. I'm not surprised with the Yankees, right? No. Houston, I'm not really surprised with, but for me, it was the Twins in the Central. After last year, the Twins finished dead last, 20 games back, and are currently leading the division up 5.5 on the White Sox. It's not a great division, but from last to first thus far, with some of the moves they also made, that was it for me. So moving on into the National League, this hurts my heart.
The Braves, man.
Most disappointing team in the National League thus far.
The Braves.
Is the Braves. I agree with that. Same kind of deal with the Seattle Mariners. They're 23-27, also 10.5 back of the Mets, who've been on a tear. 4-6 in the last 10. And just kind of a slow start from some guys. Pitching hasn't been very good. Yeah, I would say that the Braves, for me, considering that they didn't really... Freddie Freeman's gone.
That's it.
People... I've heard
they had a pitcher go down.
Yes.
Anderson, right?
They've had a couple people mention, just... how big a role does Freddie Freeman actually play in that? And I don't know. The leadership in the locker room... Just some slow starts. I don't know. Because the Phillies aren't playing well. That division's not... Like, the Mets are running away with it right now. I mean, they're what? I think they're up 10. They have the most wins in baseball, 34. And for me, who's the surprise in the NL? I would say the Mets. I didn't expect them to be destroying that division as they are.
Yeah.
Without DeGrom. 34 wins. The Brewers also, though. I mean, I'm not surprised, but the Cardinals had a lot of hype. And I think I even picked the Brewers to finish second in the division. So,
when did you do that?
I did that on Watch Your Lips. It's another Chad's face. The other part of around the league that I wanted to pick your brain on is: are you tired?
I am
tired of seeing position players pitch, come into games in relief, It seems like once or twice a week we're seeing relief pitchers.
Which is crazy to think that there's that many runs scored when the hitting's terrible. Right?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, 220. I don't even know what the batting average is right now.
Somebody posted on this. So there's a MLB group on Facebook, and you actually have to have been a professional baseball player, because they accept you only off of that. And a guy brought it up there. 6 out of the 9 starters for the Tigers were under 200.
It's really good.
This day and age, it is.
So I had a little, not even trivia, just, you okay there?
That hurt, Mike.
So I got a couple questions for you. And just 2 of them. Because to me, it's fun occasionally. We saw Loop get to do it last year, I think. Maybe the year before, I don't remember. You've seen Brett Phillips do it a couple times. You saw Pujols and Molina do it this year. But as of this, May 26th is where I got this. As of May 26th, how many position players have made an appearance on the mound in 2022? I'll give you some numbers to pick from. 14, 16, 18, or 20?
18.
Close. 16.
Damn. That's what I was thinking, but I was like,
Out of the 16, how many of them had a 0 ERA?
0.
0, 2, 4, or 6?
I'll just say 2.
Close.
I think it's 0.
It's 4.
Really?
4 guys, yeah. 4 guys had that. Yeah, it's just, it's whatever. I'm kind of just done. I mean, I get it, though, in those situations. You know what I mean? Like,
why are you in those situations?
Oh, that's true, too. That's true, too. It's just like...
Oh, because you didn't let your starter go?
I would like...
didn't.
Well, that's... Yeah, I mean... Well, but I mean, if you're getting shelled, right, you got to make the moves early. You can't just leave a guy in there. You seem frustrated talking about Major League Baseball.
It's just not fun to watch. It's just like... And that's what's tough about... Like, I could play in the big leagues right now. Not now. Not like the way I am right now, but like
20 years ago,
if I was in
this situation.
if I was...
Or fifth, whenever it was.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. But that's what's frustrating. Is like I played in an era where the baseball was really good. It was hard. It was hard to get there. It was hard to play in a spring training big league game. I talked to you about this. I see all the time minor league guys are dude, that never happened when I was in spring training. You maybe had 2 or 3 guys go up, but they were all AAA guys. You never saw a single A guy go up there. Unless it was like a first rounder maybe or something. But I mean, the amount of minor league guys I've seen in big league spring training is like, dude, it's like that experience is like, I don't know.
It's almost sacred. Do you feel like it's easier?
Yes.
You feel like it's
Yes.
the path to the big leagues is easier today than it was?
I feel like that.
Okay.
Now, I mean, it's my opinion.
Yeah, you're entitled
I
to
could
that.
be 100% wrong.
I have no clue. I would love other people that have been to say what they thought. I would love to get more outside opinions.
I mean, you asked Labby. You think Labby's not better than 30?
No, and
other
he would
second
probably
basemans back
agree with
there?
you on this. I think Marcus would probably agree with you on this. The path to the big leagues is maybe a little easier, but it's not easy.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's easy. It's still the 1% or whatever. I get that. And I know the work ethic these guys put in is really good work ethic.
Yeah, I don't want it to come off like, oh, it doesn't discredit anybody.
No, and I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying there are opportunities that are being given. There are more opportunities now than there were when I was playing, I feel like even guys moving up.
Well, do you think limiting the draft too helps narrow?
But it's only been 2 years.
I know. It's just a small sample size. A lot of that's not. But
And
back to Adley Rutschman and his call up and that whole because that was all for the world to see.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get to see that insight. You don't get to see the actual
When you and I watched it, I got emotional.
You see the conversation in the manager's office to his, running out on the field to greeting the umpire, making that turn. Like, when you said that, and I know you didn't mean like it's easy, but like that just tells me like, man, it's hard to do.
But he's had it harder, I think, because a lot of us probably would have thought he would have been up there earlier.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
So.
But to see that, it's just like you appreciate. It's not easy to do. It's not as easy to get there, and if you're fortunate enough to get there, that was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah.
Again, college baseball's firing it up this weekend. You've got the regionals. High school baseball, again, for the most part, is done in the air. You got Central still playing. I think they'll play. This comes out the Thursday, so they'll be playing Thursday today. Central and Kennedy still alive. Still no word on the Fresno City vacancy. We'll just keep on waiting for that. As it comes, we'll discuss it or maybe not discuss it. We'll see how that goes. Again, I want to thank everybody that listens, downloads, shares the podcast. Again, go follow on Twitter at Hit.OR.DIE Podcast, on Instagram at Hit.OR.DIE. Another episode, the Hit.OR.DIE Podcast.
Hit.OR.DIE.